Hello everybody and welcome to episode 2 of Shonen Shorts, where I briefly go over the Shonen manga chapters that I'm reading weekly. So currently I'm going to reading One Piece, Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo, Gone Run Egg, Under Doctor, and I read the latest, new series to the Shonen Jump catalog, which is Alien Headbutt. So to start off with One Piece was predominantly just kind of a progression chapter again, though it wasn't introductory stuff. We see they fight between Zoro and Dorian Brogy, who have been Domi Reversing, and we do get some nice information that I found to be really interesting, and that is the connection which Brook holds to Gunko. So apparently, Gunko is the grown-up version of the princess that Brook met while he was still alive with the Rumbar pirates when they landed in that kingdom briefly. So that is their connection. And then we see Gunko's, covenant slowly breaking and her control by Imu slowly loosening for a second because she tells Brook to run because she knows that Imu has her controlled. And Brook's like, I will not leave. You killed your father. So I'd presume, it's not revealed specifically, but I believe that Gunko probably took the covenant or was taken by Imu somehow and then made to kill her father. So I guess that's something we'll probably learn a little bit further down the line. Yeah, we see this, and then we see Brook and Gunko clashing. Now, this could be an immense upscale for Brook, because Brook is literally clashing with a Holy Knight, who are weaker than expected, but still, high-tier individuals. I would say at least YC+, or they're not Yonko level, they're not Admiral level, they're higher than Vice Admiral, I'd say higher than most YC1, but I'm not for certain on that, I might be brain rotted by a agenda piece or something like that. But yeah, so we see that, and Brook and Gunko clash, and then afterwards we see her power slowly loosening, and the children are losing, their path because she's loosening it, and Brook gets to escape a little bit, and then we see the giants hit it's like Sovereignty Gokuko or something like that. The thing that Dorian Brogy did to launch the Going Merry away when they were at Little Garden. So, yeah, they do that on the ship that was going to be used to kidnap the kids, and Killingham, I think. No, Summers, my bad. But yeah, Summers is like, oh, because he is essentially going to fail his mission now. Then we go into Modulo, and Modulo we get a brief flashback to Sugiri speaking with Maki, his grandmother. And Maki's just kind of explaining how it's not always necessary to make a sacrifice, and how she's questioning occasionally throughout her life how life would have been if Mai wouldn't have died, the heavenly vow. But then we get to see who actually died from the clash in the previous chapter, and it was Sugiri. And it's not shown Sugiri specifically dying, but we see that Sugiri allowed Maru to cut him, and we see Sugiri on the ground, and he's wounded, and we see a scene where Rika, that's her name. We see Rika fade. So it's presumed that he is dead now. And then we move back to the Dabura and Mahoraga fight. This fight is still going crazy because Dabura is adapting on a level that is almost similar to Mahoraga. He is learning. He is a battle genius. This is some Naruto terms, but he is a genius when it comes to battle because he has learned reverse curse technique and domain expansion. He acquires domain expansion in this chapter in less than 5 chapters. This dude is moving at an insane speed. And this had to have only been minutes in the actual battle. So Dabura is a jujutsu genius, and I cannot wait to see how it progresses. And if he ends up beating Mahoraga, because I honestly think he can, because he is just hyper intellectual. But then we move on. We see Yuji again, and Maru has come in contact with him, and they are discussing the creation, or how to figure out a creation of a world where cursed spirits are not born in general. And they are in this weird realm, and they're like, Maru reveals to Yuji that he's like, I don't know if it's Maru or Cross at the moment. I think it's Maru, but yeah. Maru's like, I got this person who will help us do that. And they pull up, and it's Mahito. So Mahito is back. But that's all for Modulo. Then for Gone Run Egg, it was predominantly just the training arc for the 3-year time skip and all that. And we learned that the Liberation Army is now about to clash off with the Drakkar King. So I'm ready to see what that does. And I mean, it wasn't really interesting this week, but I believe it will get very interesting in the next chapter to come. Because I was honestly expecting a change. I was disappointed because I was expecting a change in character design after the 3-year time skip, but it doesn't end up happening. But we also learned in it that Ganron's sister with violet hair is a very useful asset to the Drakkar King, because those like her, I don't remember what the exact title for them was. Those like her end up giving more power to more Drakkars. But then we go to Underdoctor, and Underdoctor's really well because Haji is recruited to do a heart transplant for the daughter of a Chinese mob boss. I believe his name's Lian Ya, and his daughter's name is Yochi, I think. It's Yoqi, so I presume that's pronounced Yoshi. But he gets there, and the boss reveals that he is not the one who, that his daughter's not the one who actually needs a transplant, but he is the one. So they yap about that, and he's like, okay, I'll get it to you if you can get a heart. And he's like, use my daughter's heart. And then Haji's like, I will not do that for you, because I'm not going to kill this little girl to save you. And so then Lian Ya is like, okay, I'm going to have my men kill you then. So he gets the men after him, and Haji ends up escaping the men and all that. And dissembling, but just kind of wiping them out. But okay, then we move on to Alien Headbutt. Now, I read Alien Headbutt. I didn't know really what to expect going into it. I thought it was going to be something kind of, I guess, fighting-esque. And it was. It ended up being about this dude who had a pro wrestling history, and he went away from his home, and he hasn't been back in 5 years. And so when he comes back after 5 years, after he won a belt, so he can give money and repay his family, who's a large family, who lost their dad when he was a young kid and all that, and he's going to repay him and to show his respects. And when he comes back, there's aliens in his town, and he has to fight the aliens. And he ends up fighting this one, and he ends up believing he killed it, and it killed a man who was trying to lead him along. But then it gets back up at the end of the chapter, so I believe I'll read the next chapter of that. But I'm not certain, because it didn't really grab me, and I'm looking for the really big thing. I'm looking for what will be the next big thing, like the next Dawn, or the next Sakamoto Days, or the next Jujutsu Kaisen. So I'm really looking for that, and I don't know if Alien Headbutt has the potential to be that so far. But yeah, that is the end of Shonen Shorts episode 2 over the February 8th issue of Shonen Jump. So thank you.